Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to TEDxYouth at NewtonSixthForm. My name is Frost, and I'm honored to be your host for today. We're thrilled to have you all here for a morning full of inspiration and exploration. Out of respect for those speaking on stage, please ensure that your mobile devices are turned on silent, flash photography is disabled, and if you do require any assistance, our ushers are here to help. Our theme for today is Character Matters. This theme invites us to reflect on the essence of who we are, the values we uphold, and the integrity we uphold. When opportunities arise, it is this, our character, that determines how we seize them and the impact we create. Throughout this event, you'll be hearing from our line of speakers who will be sharing their insights on character in various contexts, from personal growth and leadership to community building and beyond. We also have a special musical performance lined up for you all during our intermission. And without further ado, let TEDxYouth at NewtonSixthForm begin.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lennon.
I'm Brev.
And today
Wait. Sorry.
What?
So, I just found something online.
What?
So, like, in the past, our phone used to be like a huge brick, which was good for a weapon. But now, it's just this tiny rectangle thingy. Ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that sounds somewhat philosophical.
Of course.
Wait, I think I've heard somebody talk about this before. Connecting the change over time with her own life.
Really? Who?
She's on her way here today, too. Let me check.
What?
My phone.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
While we wait for her to answer, do you guys happen to know Jaja?
Do you?
She's in year 12, and she's passionate about the aspects of life. And she also likes to share with other people.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Oh, looks like she's answering. She's just behind the stage, and she's ready to give us a speech about being lost in life's continuum.
That's great. Please welcome to the stage,
Jaja!
Jaja!
Huh, it's still here. As a kid, I used to imagine my older self calling my younger self using this telephone. Sometimes, dwelling on the past like this can feel like a big waste of time. But perhaps there's value and wisdom to embracing our past, especially our mistakes, and making those our guideposts for today and tomorrow. So, don't be afraid to pick up the receiver and give yourself that call to think about the past. But would you pick up the receiver and give your younger self that call? I mean, what would you even say? Don't worry, just keep on trying. Stop listening to your brother all the time. All he does is annoy you. All these words of advice and trying to change your past for a better present might seem, well, useless. But what if I told you that all these words held value? When we think about the past, we like to focus on the moments that we could have done differently. But we tend to forget to focus and to acknowledge those moments. Reflecting isn't about regret. It's about understanding the value of your journey that has shaped you. The awkward moments, the failures, the heartaches, they all contribute to who you are today. And just as we reflect onto the past, our present is in a constant state of flux. Our world is changing so rapidly that sometimes we're forced to adapt to new lifestyles and habits. And with this, think about the evolution of communication. From early telegraphs to smartphones, each iteration brought us closer to instant connectivity. But can you imagine how many different designs, prototypes, and other failures there were of this? Yet, the core purpose, to connect to people, remains unchanged. They had to learn what worked. They had to learn what didn't. And well, this relentless cycle of learning and adapting required them to embrace change. I mean, do you guys remember this type of phone? We don't see them anymore, do we? But just as our world adapts, don't we too undergo changes as individuals? Just like the models of a phone, each iteration is more advanced and capable. Just like how phones evolve, we too transform, changing parts of ourselves to better thrive and adapt to new realities. So as the present unfolds, step into the future with the lessons of the past. Let those lessons guide you and your actions in the present to paint a future that resonates with you. But as a 15-year-old high school student, how do I know what my future looks like? How do I make the right decisions to make the decisions that I have to make at the end of high school? How do I do that when I've got no clue what my future is? I mean, just look at the innovations of the past few years. AI, AR, self-driving cars. And with all these new technologies, how do we know the impact and the potential these innovations have? Have you ever listened to a guy talk about something he doesn't really understand? It goes something like this. AI is a mind reader. It's basically our brains. I mean, I read it on Wikipedia this one time. AI can do absolutely everything. It'll probably take over our jobs. So you hear things that aren't quite right. And to think that this is the line of thinking behind the decisions we make in the future is, well, scary to say the least. Knowing how to use a tool like generative AI doesn't necessarily mean you understand the potential of it. Thinking about the future requires a good understanding of the present. And in order to step into the future confidently, you need to understand how we can utilize what we have today to tomorrow. And so, but is that all we need? When we think about the future, we tend to see nothing. We tend to see everything that, well, is confusing. And so when I was preparing for this speech, I wasn't really sure. I had a ton of ideas, but I never really pinpointed one. The closer this day got, the more nervous I felt. And the more I started to overwhelm myself. And that's when the fear was so intense that I just couldn't express myself anymore. At that point, I had hit rock bottom. So I did what anyone else would do. Tell my mom. And well, she reminded me of a specific moment in my life, a school play, where I was cast, drumroll please, as a tree. And well, I didn't have any lines, but I made the most out of it. I practiced standing tall and proud, and that little role was my first experience at being seen. And I realized that my confidence grew only afterwards, and that being on stage truly gave me that chance to grow. And well, here I am. However this speech turns out, I know that I'll learn something from this too. However this speech turns out, I know that this experience will teach me something. In a few years, I might even reflect onto these moments of self-doubt. And even with this, self-doubt, I know that it's a barrier we often impose on ourselves. And with this, well, self-doubt can be overcome as long as you push beyond your comfort zones, as long as you embrace your failures as stepping stones, and embrace change as a chance to grow. So step into the future, using your past not as your destination, but as your map. Because what? Navigating the unknown can be intimidating, but isn't that what makes the journey exciting? The fear drives and fuels your growth. So, from the familiarity of a landline phone to the connectivity of your smartphones to the endless possibilities of the future, don't be afraid to go back sometimes to the past, to pick up the phone, and to give yourself that call. Thank you.
That was really good. I mean, for some reason, you can think of the future as a shame. It's not just about being good or bad. Well, thank you for the talk, Jaja. Where's my partner? Linin?
Oh.
Linin, come here, it's time. You
Sorry.
still eating?
I'm sorry. I was eating. Sorry, I didn't eat breakfast today.
Do you think that's a bad habit?
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, but like, I wanted to change, but like, I mean, I've tried, but obviously, you can see it didn't work out.
If you want to shame, you might want to try the 21-day challenge.
What?
The
Challenge?
21-day challenge.
Uh-uh.
Well, then you have to pay attention to the next speaker. Iris, a really talented student from year 10.
Oh, I know her. I've worked with her before. She's good at singing, acting, and academics too. So she must have some tips and tricks to share with us today, right?
Absolutely, yes. With her talk, 21-day habit makeover.
Well, let's not waste any more time and welcome to the stage,
Iris!
Hello, I'm Iris. I have a simple question for you all. Have you ever heard the saying that it takes 21 days to form a new habit? Raise your hands. Wow, I see quite a lot of hands out there. Well, if you've been struggling to create new habits in your life, don't worry, you're not the only one. Forming a new habit, it's complicated, but if you set goals and make it as a routine, it should not be a problem, right? High school can be the best time to set yourself up for a successful future. If you feel like you're not on the right path, this is the perfect chance to make changes and get back on track. I have a way to get you there within just 21 days. Some of you might be a little bit skeptical, but stick with me here. About 2 years ago, while I was volunteering, I learned about different types of habits. I wanted to know what habits I had that were helping me or holding me back. In the 1950s, a plastic surgeon, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, observed an interesting pattern among his patients. Dr. Maltz performed operations such as rhinoplasty, a nose job, and it usually took patients around 21 days to get used to their new appearance. Likewise, when a patient gets their arm or leg amputated, Maltz noticed that they experience a phantom limb sensation for about 21 days before adapting to the new reality. These experiences led Maltz to consider his own adjustment period to change, and he also noticed that it took about 21 days to develop a new habit. Let's talk about habit. What is a habit? Anyone? A habit. It's a behavior that we repeat so often it becomes automatic. Take reading, for example. Whether it's reading books, articles, or even body language. Like resting your hands on the hips, when you're feeling bossy or frowny. Crossing arms when you're feeling angry. Or sitting with crossed leg with a restless fidget. I actually love this habit. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. These habits, good or bad, are formed through a process called habituation. Habituation It's a form of learning where behavior becomes automatic through repetition. Oops, I forgot. Sorry. See, I told you this is a bad habit. Isn't it fascinating how a habit can be something we do without even thinking about it? Like brushing our teeth or checking our phone first thing in the morning. But why is this a problem? Now, think of your brain as equivalent an autopilot system. Oh, this looks like a crown. Princess? Oh, it's okay. When you start doing something new, like checking your phone first thing in the morning, your brain, decision-making boss, the prefrontal cortex, kicks into gear. It's like the captain of the ship deciding where to go and what to do. Here's the fun part. There's also a little helper called the basal ganglia. This part of the brain loves to make life easier for you by turning new activities into automatic routines. Kind of like setting up a playlist so you don't need to choose every song each time you want music. Imagine when you do something that feels good, like dancing or singing to your favorite song. Your brain throws a mini celebration of chemicals, which is dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine pops up when you feel pleasure, and serotonin jumps in when you feel content. These are the brain's way of giving you a high five. Okay, enough with the science stuff for now. Lots of things can impact how long it takes to pick up a new habit. Let's think about starting a new habit like, practicing to sing. This is just an example. Here are the 4 key principles that you need to develop and fine-tune your new routine. Motivation, simplicity, repetition, and the right mindset. What is motivation? In this case, motivation, it's your melody. Just like a song needs an attractive melody to move. Your new singing habits needs motivation to move you to take action. The more passionate and determined you are about improving your singing, such as aspiring to shine on stage, the more you're likely to stay committed. Next, simplicity is a song structure. Easy to follow vocal exercise or key. Simple warm-up routines like humming scales or practicing breathing techniques or fundamental for vocal improvement. More complex techniques may need more time and more patience. Repetition is a rhythm, just as rhythm is fundamental to music. Whether it's repeating vocal exercise is a must. Whether it's practicing scales for 10 minutes each day or rehearsing a song chorus. The more you do it, the better it becomes. And the last thing, the right mindset, is a vocal coach. Just as vocal coach guides and encourages you to reach your potential, believing in your ability to improve and overcome these challenges, even faced with vocal struggles or performance anxiety. Every day, start by practicing with a motivating melody. Or maintain the rhythm of repetition. Keep your vocal exercise structured and simple. And embrace the right mindset. Soon, you'll find your singing abilities and your new habit harmonize effortlessly. Are you ready to transform your new routine into something fun and rewarding journey? I have created a 21-day roadmap. Say goodbye to boring plans and hello to a 3-week adventure. You may follow my step-by-step roadmap, complete each week in order, and earn amazing prizes along the way. Let's make it practical with some strategies to help you build new habits today. Instead of promising yourself to run a marathon, start by putting running shoes every morning. I know, it's just a small step, but it sets the stage for bigger strides. Instead of saying, I want to dance more, say, I will dance to one song every night before bed. Make a personal progress bar. Whether it's a checklist or an app, find something that visually tracks your progress and keeps you excited about the small daily wins. Every check mark on your tracker is a mini celebration. Reward yourself with something small but joyful, maybe like drinking to your favorite drink or an extra 10 minutes of playing instruments. Lastly, keep the spirits high by remembering why you have started. Post motivational quotes where you see them, or partner up with a friend who shares your goal. If you are facing obstacles in building new habits today, don't give up. There are several strategies that you can use to overcome these obstacles and build lasting habits. First of all, find a support system by enlisting the help of friends and families who can keep you motivated and accountable. Secondly, address negative emotions by finding ways to cope, such as through meditation, exercise, or therapy. And three, if your current environment is not conducive to build new habits, make changes that will support your new habit. Finally, who's ready for an adventure? Wow, everyone, we're standing on the brink of something awesome. Remember, forming new habit doesn't always feel like climbing mountains. Just 21 days of sticking to your guns can set the stage for a lifetime of awesomeness. Today is a day of jumping into the pool of change and splash around into the world of new exciting habits. Together, let's shake things up, unlock our potential, and paint the future with rainbows and confetti. Bright me, bright you, with a bright mindset. Thank you.
Well, even though the challenge seems tough, it's really worth it. I should really give it a shot.
I agree. Well, next up we have the light particle.
Photon? Oh, a light particle is called a photon.
Exactly.
Okay, now, our speaker, Photon, he is in year 12 from Open School. And just like his name, he'll shine us a way through the journey of unexpected opportunities using his artistic mind.
Sounds like a coincidence.
You mean serendipity?
What is that?
A serendipity is an unplanned, fortunate discovery.
Ah, I see. And what does it have to do with opportunity?
Well, that is for Photon to show us through his talk about the serendipitous journey to Ikigai.
So without further ado, please welcome to the stage,
Photon!
Hi, I'm an art student. Of course, I have a passion for art, and I dare say, I'm pretty good at it. But if you turn the clock back just a few years ago, I would have never imagined that I would be doing art today. When I was in primary school, I was bored. I rarely paid attention in class, and I'd always doodle to pass the time. My drawings were horrible. It was worse than kids my age anyways, and honestly, I didn't even really like drawing. When I turned 6th grade, I started to enjoy drawing a little bit more. But one day, a teacher saw me drawing in my notebook. He knew I wasn't paying attention, so he decided to grab it and threw it in the trash. Of course, I never got it back. It was infuriating, but that only motivated me to draw even more. Once I was in middle school, I needed a tablet to learn. My dad had one, so he lent it to me. And I noticed that it came with a pen. Naturally, I tried drawing on it. It was the first time I took art seriously. I couldn't tell you what it was, but at that moment, I knew that that was it. It was like something clicked. I told my parents about that, and surprisingly, they supported me, even though my start was rough at best. They always encouraged me to continue. And without that, I would not be here today. Wow, thank you. Now, as I look back, I believe that I would not be here without that encouragement. That encouragement was all I needed to continue pursuing my passion. I'm sure all of you had a similar experience. That moment when you knew that thing was your passion, that unique spark. That's what you call serendipity. What's unfortunate is that not everyone is given the support they need to realize their full potential. The key to this is opportunity. Opportunity is a chance for advancement or success. It's the open door, the helping hand, a thing that helps you get to a better place than before. Now follow me on this. People are like books. What do I mean by that? What gives a book its value? Is it the cover, the summary, the price tag? Of course not. A book's value comes from what's inside of it, its contents, the stories, the ideas within the pages. But those values cannot be known to the world if the book remains closed. Just like a book, we all have potential within us. But that potential cannot be known to the world. It cannot shine without having a chance to prove itself. By opening this book, we are on a path to discovering our ikigai, a Japanese concept that embodies our reason for being. It's the intersection between passion, vocation, mission, and profession. It's the place where what you love, what you're good at, what can be paid for, and what the world needs all come together in perfect harmony. Imagine a world where you never discovered your passion, your ikigai, your purpose, or if you did, you never had the chance to pursue it. Wouldn't that be a shame? This doesn't just affect the individual. For example, it also affects the workplace. A study by Gallup organization shows that engaged employees are much more efficient in their work. However, only around 30% of employees are actually engaged. Why is that? Well, there are many factors that go into engagement. However, one of the main reasons is passion. Passionate employees are much more engaged, much more productive, and much more loyal to their companies. In essence, ikigai is the path to a fulfilling life and a meaningful career. I'm sure some of you recognize this man. This is Chatri Sityathong, founder of One Championship, one of the world's largest sports organizations, and one of my personal favorites. Chatri grew up in a wealthy family in Thailand, but his world fell apart when his family lost everything during the Asian financial crisis. Chatri found his passion in Muay Thai and martial arts after his father abandoned them, leading him to taking care of his family on his own. The grit and determination, he eventually graduated from Harvard and became a successful entrepreneur after finding his ikigai. By combining his passion for Muay Thai and martial arts with business, his skills, he founded One Championship. Chatri believes that our purpose in the world is to unleash our potential and contribute to the world. For him, it's his business and martial arts, and that's his weapon to fight against poverty and inequality around the world by giving talented fighters a chance to perform on the world stage. What about you? What's your weapon? How can you contribute? Well, some simple things you can do are be a knowledge sharer. What's your skill. Offer to mentor someone, maybe share your knowledge online or in a workshop. A simple coffee chat can be extremely valuable. Or you could be a connector, be a bridge. Do you know someone perfect for the job? Why not recommend them? As someone trying to break into a saturated industry, it's always extremely valuable to have connections. Finally, something as simple as offering encouragement can mean the world. A simple, "you got this," can get really, really far. Be someone who believes in others, support them, and celebrate their success. That's what got me this far, after all. So think about it. Who needs your support? Who can you give an opportunity to? And how can you give one? Everyone deserves an opportunity, and anyone can give one. To end off, I would like to share a quote by John F. Kennedy. He says, "All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us should have an equal opportunity to develop those talents." Thank you.
Thank you for that, Photon. It really made me realize what a luxury it is to be offered opportunities. So let us all remember, when we have a chance, offer others opportunities and open doors.
Just like what JFK said. Talking about JFK, I really admired his leadership. Have you ever wondered about what leadership is?
Not really. But I think I can find out about it more from my teachers or my seniors.
Yeah, but people that are younger than us can be great leaders too.
Oh, I know just the person. So today, Gina will be showing us how to lead with heart, a kid's guide to making the world better.
So please welcome to the stage,
Gina!
Hi everyone, my name's Gina and I'm 10 years old and I'm from year 6. Today, I'm thrilled to be here because I got something very important to share with you. Have you ever wondered what it takes to build a strong character? Well, I believe that leadership is one of the most powerful ways to do it. Well, you might just be thinking, what does a 10-year-old know about leadership? Well, I've had some amazing experiences that taught me just how important it is. So let's take a journey back and explore my story, where leadership not only changed my actions, but my character. 2 years ago, I had a dream to become a leader. So I boldly decided to run for the class leader position. To my amazement and sheer excitement, I won. That one really incredible year as class leader taught me some valuable lessons. Imagine being a to-go problem solver in your classroom. Not because you were asked, because nobody else would step up. That was me in my old school. Throughout the term, our class got a little wild, which really pushed me to rise up to the occasion and become a stronger leader. For instance, when a boy in my class was having a rough day, it was me and the teacher who helped him solve his problems to help him find why he was upset. Imagine a young student stepping in to med-aid, trying to find out why another student was acting out. This taught me the importance of empathy and seeing things from different angles, skills which any good leader should have. Or when the class got loud and unruly, which was basically an everyday reoccurrence, I would stand up and tell them to be quiet. Picture a room full of shouting kids and one voice trying to bring order. It wasn't easy and I wasn't always popular for it, but it taught me the importance of making tough decisions and staying alone, even if it means standing up for what's right. Fast forward now, I'm here at Newton, and the lessons I learned about leadership still continue to shape my journey today. For instance, when I saw how hard our teachers worked I felt a deep sense of gratitude. So I approached the principals with the idea of initiating Teachers Appreciation Day. They agreed and supported my idea wholeheartedly. Now, organizing this event did just mean saying a plain, small thank you. It meant showing that the contributions of our teachers were truly appreciated. Further supporting my belief that true leadership comes from uplifting and acknowledging others' efforts. And this initiative also brought our school community and teachers really close. Looking back on my journey, I have come to realize true leadership isn't just about my personal experiences. It's about incredible stories of brave people worldwide. Let me introduce you to someone who has truly inspired me. With her incredible leadership skills and strong character, meet Trisha Prabhu, a young innovator who is helping to make the internet a kinder place. When Trisha was 13, she heard about a tragic cyberbullying incident, which prompted her to create Rethink, an app that stops cyberbullying before the messages get posted. And the app has reduced cyberbullying by over 93%. How great is that? Trisha's determination and empathy continues to inspire children around the world to use technology for good and to stand up against online bullying. Trisha's story also shows us that one person's creativity and imagination can lead to a large impact on our world. While the story of Trisha has continued to inspire me a lot, a much more significant example comes much closer to home. While my biggest supporter has always been my mom. She has always supported me in whatever I did. She always encouraged my love for Legos, and she nurtured my creativity when growing up. Her belief for freedom of speech has inspired me to be outspoken and confident, and that is the reason I am standing here today. She inspires me to work hard. As a dentist, she inspires me to give it my all in school and to never give up no matter how many times I fail. So, as we come to the end of our journey today, remember this. Leadership isn't just about positions or titles. It's about action, character, and making a positive impact on all of us. I believe that each of us has the potential to lead, to inspire, and to create change, no matter our age or background. So, I want to leave you all with a question. What small steps can you take now in your community to make a difference? Whether it's standing up for what's right, lending a helping hand, or even showing kindness. Never underestimate the power of your actions. It's been truly inspiring to have you all on this journey with me today into the magic of leadership. Thank you.
What powerful insights we have heard so far. Each talk has deepened our understanding on how integrity and resilience truly matter. These talks and ideas have given us much to ponder about. So, as we move into our intermission, take this time to reflect on what we've heard while enjoying our special musical performance by New Tempo. So, for the next 7 minutes, sit back, relax, enjoy, and let our music take you to the next segment of our event, where we'll continue to explore how character truly matters. Please join me in welcoming Yuki and Titi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, test, test. Hello, test. Hello.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. We are from Newton.
Hello.
Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Are you ready? Okay. Do you hear me? I'm talking to you across the water, across the deep blue oceans, under the open sky. Oh my baby, I'm trying.
Though I hear you in the dreams, I feel your whispers across the sea. Keep you with me in my heart. You make it easier when life gets hard. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. They don't know how long it takes waiting for a love like this. Every time we say goodbye, I wish you had one more kiss. I'll wait for you, I promise you I will. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday.
So I'm sailing through the sea, through an island where we'll meet. You hear the music, feel the air. I put the flowers
In your hair, through the breezes, through the tree. You move so pretty, you're all I see. As the world keeps spinning round, you hold me right here, right now. Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home again. Lucky we're in love in every way. Lucky to have stayed where we have stayed. Lucky to be coming home someday.
Thank you very much. This song is from Jason. It is called Lucky.
And the next song is for those who are in love or have a crush on someone. Don't you notice how I get quiet when there's no one else around? Me and you in awkward silence. Don't you dare look at me that way. I don't need reminders of how you don't feel the same. Oh, the burning pain. Listen to your heart about some new soulmate. She's so perfect, love, love that. Oh, how come to me, confess your love. At least just let me say that when I talk to you, a cupid walks right through and shoots an arrow through my heart. And I sound like a loon, but don't you feel it to confess I love you from the start? What's a girl to do, lying on my bed staring into the gloom? Unrequired, terrifying love is driving me a bit insane. Have to get this off my chest. I'm telling you today that when I talk to you, a cupid walks right through and shoots an arrow through my heart. And I sound like a loon, but don't you feel it to confess I love you from the start? Confess I love you, just thinking of you. I know I love you from the start.
Thank you very much.
That was From the Start by Leve, and next will be Best Part. You don't know, babe, when you hold me and kiss me slowly, it's the sweetest thing. And it don't change. If I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're the sunshine in my rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me? Give it all. I just wanna see, I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part.
It's the sunrise and those brown eyes, yes, the one that I decide. When we wake up and then we make love, it makes me feel so nice. You're my water when I'm stuck in the desert. You're the Tylenol it takes when my head's hurt. You're the sunshine of my life.
I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part. If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you?
Won't you?
If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Oh, if you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Love me, won't you?
The song is called Best Part from who? Okay, I forgot. Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the next talk.
Ladies and, ge- Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed that wonderful musical performance. As we're about to step into our next segment of this event, please return to your seats and give me some hands to welcome our new pair of MCs.
Welcome back, everyone. That was an amazing performance by New Tempo. I hope everyone enjoyed the enlightening musical interlude. Now that we're back, I'm Ayun, this is Peace, and we'll be your MCs for the second half of today's program.
You know, Ayun, these performances got me thinking of how these musicians poured their hearts and soul into their performance, right? They know exactly what to do and when to do it.
Well, in a band, you kind of have to trust your band members and, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Not only that, you have to trust in yourself to hit these notes and hit these beats. That requires a very high level of trust, don't you think?
Yeah, but I can't really make decisions or trust myself to do so.
Well, maybe our next speaker can offer some self-reflection. Please welcome Pimmy and her talk, Mirror, Mirror, Revealing Your Character Through Self-Trust.
Imagine being trapped in a maze with walls so high you can't see the way out. You wander lost and frustrated until you realize something incredible. That the map to escape was in your pocket all along. Today, I want to share with you the map to your own potential and how to trust yourself to navigate through life's most challenging mazes. Let's begin with a thought experiment. Picture this. You are in a room with 2 mirrors. Each mirror shows a different version of your future self. The first mirror shows a version of you who followed all the expectations of others, whether that be your friends, your family, your teachers, society. This version is successful by conventional standards, a stable job, an adequate house, an acceptable lifestyle. But as you look closer into their eyes, you notice a certain dullness. You notice a lack of passion and excitement. This version of you followed the known path and took the road that was commonly traveled. The second mirror shows a different version of you. This one made bold choices, took risks, sometimes stumbled along the way. They often followed their inner voice and took the road less traveled. But even when their path isn't certain, their eyes seem to sparkle with joy, with excitement, with the sense of true fulfillment. Now, I want you to think about which mirror you're more drawn to. Do you choose conformity? Or do you choose your heart? I chose my heart, as I got to do what I love, follow my dreams. But there's a catch. The path to becoming the fulfilled version in the second mirror is unclear. It requires you to believe in yourself and to make some decisions that might not always be understood by others. That itself is the start to the path of a key secret, self-trust. Let's go on a little journey to explore the concept of self-trust, shall we? In definition, self-trust is the great faith in oneself, or belief in one's abilities. Why is it so important, you may ask? It is the foundation of our authenticity and fulfillment. It reveals our character as it allows us to make decisions aligned with our values and to live a life that actually feels genuine and rewarding. When we trust ourselves, we have the power to succeed. It sounds easy in theory, right? But in reality, in difficult situations, we often doubt ourselves. I know that all of us has been there, staying up all night thinking, can we actually do this? Is our choice really the right choice? This self-doubt plagues us. The fear of failure does so as well, as it makes us hesitant to leave our comfort zones. But you do know that everybody fails, right? The majority of entrepreneurs fail before starting a successful business. Take a look at Henry Ford. His last name sounds familiar to you, right? Well, before starting his car company, his first vehicle actually failed, and that led him to lose all his financial backing before actually starting the brand. Or Bill Gates, whose first business before Microsoft, which was called Trap-O Data, also failed as the technology just didn't work. Or James Dyson, who had to make 5,127 vacuum prototypes before successfully putting Dyson into the market. These examples show us that failure is a natural part of our journey, and it is our flaws that make us human. The key is to accept it and move forward. You can do it if you trust yourself to navigate through these obstacles. Now, let me take you back to a moment in my life where I learned the truth about self-trust. Many years ago, I joined my first international school, a school where English was the primary language. This was me as a kid. I look so shy, right? Well, in my past years, I've only been in traditional Thai schools. Therefore, I've never had the opportunity to learn different languages. I didn't know a single word of English, not a word at all. I didn't even know how to ask the teachers to go to the bathroom. Every day, I watched as the kids around me chatted and laughed, swapping stories and playing games. And I felt isolated, as if I was standing alone in a crowded room. This continued for months and years, to the point where I started to panic. You know, as a kid with future hopes and dreams and goals I wanted to achieve, I didn't want to continue my future like this. I wanted to see a change. I wanted to improve myself and to become a better version of myself. Therefore, after realizing that I couldn't just bottle up my emotions forever, I took the first step to share my struggles with my mother. It was at this moment where she shared a quote by American teacher Christian D. Larson that I would never forget. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that's greater than any obstacle out there. This quote sparked something in me. It led me to realize that I had an inner strength that wasn't defined by anybody else. It was after this where I did something I've never done before. I took my first risk to speak without the fear of judgment. Yes, other students laughed at my bad grammar and my poor accents, but I refused to let that stop me. I made a promise to myself to never give up and to believe in myself that I would eventually learn. So as years passed, I kept on improving myself. I started off little by little with small groups of vocabulary, then sentences, then continued on to paragraphs. It was after this which led me here. The proudest moment of my life. To be on this stage and to share my story using a language that I was once afraid of. This led me to realize that self-trust is mandatory. It taught me one of the most valuable lessons of my life, which was to become strong and to redefine my future through what I believe I'm able to achieve. Now, that was my personal journey in self-trust, in learning something new. Moving on to the question probably dwelling in everybody's minds, how exactly can we break down the concept of self-trust and apply it to our lives? Start by listening to your inner voice. Listen to your inner feelings as they guide you towards your passion and tell you what to do. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. Understand that failure is just part of the growth process, and each failure teaches you something valuable. I want you to remember that, although the path to self-trust may be less traveled and filled with uncertainty, it is also the path that leads you to true fulfillment and joy. So as you leave here today, I want you to recall standing between the two mirrors in your mind. The one molded by external pressures, and the one who trusts their inner voice and goes ahead with their dreams. Go ahead and ask yourself, Which version of me will I choose to be? Thank you.
That was an incredible talk by Pimi. Thank you for sharing your insights on self-trust and decision-making.
Have you ever had that one time where you swore you won't spend like a single baht, but then you end up with an empty bank account and 3 maxed out credit cards?
Well, everyone has had that some point in their life, and it's usually because someone had convinced them to do it. But have you ever wondered how someone influenced your thoughts?
Well, our next speaker has put some serious thought into that. Please welcome Kao Pan and her talk, The Thin Line Between Persuasion
And Manipulation.
Imagine scrolling through social media and coming across advice online saying how to manipulate someone to like you back. It's a scenario many of us have encountered, and I totally get it. We all want to impress the person we want to talk to. But this raises the fundamental question: where do we draw the line between ethical influence and manipulative tactics? Today, we're diving into an intricate topic that affects us all: the subtle art of influence. Specifically, the ethical distinction between persuasion and manipulation. Let's begin by defining the two terms. What is persuasion? It is convincing through the principle of transparency and empathy while allowing someone the choice to act on it. Think of persuading a friend to adopt a healthier lifestyle, or convincing a colleague to support a new idea. It involves open-mindedness and effort to seek an outcome that benefits both parties. In contrast, manipulation relies on deceitful ways to achieve personal gain at the expense of others' trust and well-being. These actions are conducted from a self-serving perspective. Tactics such as gaslighting, guilt-tripping, using false information, blackmail, false flattery in order to achieve an instant outcome, with the goal of covering up one's true intention. So, the thin line that separates the two is the ethicality of the user's intent and achieved outcome, between doing a task with others in mind or doing it for your own personal gain.
Get ready for
Often, it is easy to mistake ethical persuasion with unethical manipulation. And as a result, we end up manipulating someone. Instead of persuading, we are seeking to impose our will onto them and have them do what we want. In personal relationships, manipulation leads to fractured trust. The moment you know someone is using you as a pawn on their chessboard, it is difficult to trust them again. Their credibility crumbles, whereas in a professional setting, it creates a toxic environment that is filled with dishonesty and undermines working as a team. A reputation takes a lifetime to build, but a moment to destroy. Identifying manipulation can be recognized through patterns of questioning someone's actions or asking a third-party opinion on the matter. One example of manipulation is a false power dynamic act. The manipulator denies their actions and then shifts the blame onto someone else, turning the tables around so that they appear as the victim. Let's say, for example, your friend has forgotten a dinner you scheduled together. A manipulator would blame it on you by saying, "I didn't come because you didn't remind me." Do you see how the accountability has been reversed? But if you want to use persuasion effectively, you could gently guide them to acknowledge their responsibilities without creating conflict or resentment. For example, by saying, let's both schedule a dinner next time so that we won't forget. But why should you care? Why should you care on how you do it? If you get the results that you want, if you get that invitation to the party, or the promotion you've been dying to have, it's because it tells people what kind of person you are. It is something that we can sense, something that we can pick up on in others' actions or motives. If you want to leave a long-lasting impression, be the person that persuades. As individuals and future leaders, we have the responsibility to uphold ethical standards with the way we navigate life. Remember, action speaks louder than words. Good character is the true backbone of ethical influence. We often believe that persuasion is difficult, but Aristotle showed it can be simple with 3 simple concepts: logos, pathos, and ethos. Many powerful persuaders, such as Barack Obama and Martin Luther King Jr., use these methods to create compelling talks. To persuade with logos is to appeal to someone's mind and logic. Pathos is to appeal to someone's emotions. Ethos, however, is considered the most effective by Aristotle, who once said, character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. This is because ethos dictates how you are perceived in society through your thoughts and actions projected into the world. As I conclude, I would like us to reflect upon these few points. The next time you are trying to change someone's mind or get them to like you, ask yourself, are you doing it for your own personal gain or for the benefit of both? The power to change someone's actions is not forced through fear, but is earned through effective communication. By choosing ethical persuasion over manipulative tactics, we can learn to be assertive, not aggressive or selfish. One day, your ability to influence might not just come from the ability to persuade with emotions and figures, but from the truth of who you are as a person. Thank you.
Wow, what a wonderful speech by Khao Pan.
The power of persuasion. What a force. Could you ever imagine that force being used? What if you were convinced what you're doing is actually wrong?
Well, actually, I remember a guy that was almost convinced what he was doing is wrong, that he would accomplish nothing in his life if he doesn't put the cube down.
I know exactly who you're talking about. A cuber who's not only an expert, but also an ambitious one.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for some insightful solutions and a passion-filled lesson about never giving up. Please say hello to Mickey.
Would you believe me if I told you a teacher once told me I would achieve nothing with my life if I kept on solving this cube?
That's it. I'm going to touch you.
Fast forward to now, I have grown a social media channel from 0 to 1 million subscribers in only 10 months. I was recognized as the 4th Thailand Rising Star in 2022, and I was among the top 10 cubers in Thailand. All of this happened because of this cube. So, why is overcoming challenges important? Because life is full of obstacles, and if you learn how to face them head on, you'll be able to transform your life.
Today, I'm going to be sharing my secret formula to how I overcome my challenges using these 5 powerful strategies. As you can see, it's blurred right now, but don't worry, I'll slowly reveal them one by one. Let me take you back a few years ago when I had to change schools. I felt extremely lonely, and being around unfamiliar people, that did not help at all. All I wanted was to just make a friend. Until one day, I saw a classmate solving a Rubik's Cube. That was the start of my Rubik's Cube addiction. My life back then revolved around only 3 things: sleeping, eating, and solving this cube. Even in class, I would continue cubing, which made my teachers pretty mad at me. I don't know why, though. One day during recess, as you guys can probably guess, I was solving my Rubik's Cube. A teacher suddenly approached me, and after some small talk, he said something to me that I can still remember to this day. He asked me, "When will you stop solving that cube? Otherwise, you won't do anything with your life." When I heard that, I felt angry. But at the same time, I also felt determined to prove him wrong. "It's my choice," I replied. This experience led me to my first strategy: discovering your passion. Passion is that thing that excites you to wake up in the morning. It's what you lose track of time doing. For me, it was cubing, and later on, creating content. Discovering your passion can also be pretty challenging, but once you find it, it becomes a very powerful tool in your life. So the question is, how do you find it? Like I just said, passion is what you find exciting and what you lose track of time doing. So just explore different activities. And if you can't find it, don't worry. Discovering your passion takes a lot of trial and error, so it's very normal. When COVID struck, me and my family were quarantined for 9 days. Let me tell you, that was the pain I felt. It was unbearable. Every time I swallowed my saliva, it just felt like someone kept stabbing me in the throat over and over again. I was miserable. After the pain faded, boredom hit hard. The plain walls, tiny windows, and that clock that kept ticking on, telling me that I couldn't leave, I felt hopeless. But it was during one of these low moments that my dad asked me something. He said to me, "Are there any good things about getting COVID?" At first, I thought this was a very silly question. Like, what type of question is this? But after a few hours, I realized something. I had a lot of free time. What if I did something productive? This ended up leading me to creating my first ever Rubik's Cube video, combining my love for cubing and content creation. Have you ever seen things differently just because you chose to look at it from a different perspective? If you have, that is called reframing. Reframing is about changing your mindset to see opportunities in challenges. And by changing your perspective, you can turn a negative situation into a positive one. So, how do you reframe? Start by asking yourself different types of questions. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" change it to, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "Are there any positive aspects to this?" Reframing is about finding that positive aspect and using that to your advantage. As I continue making videos, I often blame the algorithm when I got low views. It was easier to blame something else rather than taking accountability. But realizing that my actions directly influence my outcome, this was a game changer. I started to analyze my videos. I improved its quality. I chose better video ideas, and I engage more with the audience. This instantly shifted my views from gaining about 10 to 100 views per video to instantly gaining hundreds of thousands per video. This experience taught me the importance of cause and effect. In a situation, you can either choose to be the cause or the effect. By choosing to be the cause, it's all about yourself. How can I improve? But by choosing to be the effect, you're just going to blame everything else that is not in your control. By understanding this relationship, you can make better decisions and take control of the results you want. Now, let me tell you something that happened literally 10 minutes ago. But before I tell you the story, I will have to explain what the fourth strategy is first, and that is self-awareness. And it's very simple. Know what you're thinking and know what you're feeling at any given moment. Something my dad likes to tell me is, if you can't control your emotions, the emotions will control you. So, how do you cultivate self-awareness? Start by using a scale from 0 to 10 to gauge how you're feeling. Now, with that out of the way, let me tell you what happened 10 minutes ago. Before I came up here on stage, I felt pretty nervous. On the scale, it was like a 7 out of 10. When I realized I felt nervous, I instantly used reframing. What can I learn from feeling nervous? The reason I felt so nervous was because I was scared of failure. I was scared of messing up on this stage. But I realized I'm only human. If I just did my best, that is already good enough for me. After I finished reframing, my nervousness dropped to about a 2 out of 10. Do you finally see how powerful these strategies are? Before I end this talk, here are some self-coaching questions you can ask yourself when you feel lost. First is, what is your goal? Secondly, what are the obstacles that prevent you from achieving the goal? Thirdly, are there any opportunities to achieve this goal? And finally, what do you need to do and when to achieve the goal? If you're able to answer these 4 self-coaching questions, you won't feel lost anymore. In summary, by discovering your passion, reframing your mindset, understanding cause and effect, cultivating self-awareness, and using these self-coaching questions, you won't feel lost anymore. Remember, it's not about the obstacles themselves, but how you choose to face them. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a powerful speech by Mickey. Notice how Mickey stayed true to himself as a cuber.
He became a cuber, and he has remained committed. He chose a path, and he stuck true to it until now.
Speaking of paths, Ayun, how do you know which one's the right one for you when there are so many to pick from? How do you know which one to choose?
I really don't want to choose a path that's not for me.
Well, maybe our next speaker can provide some direction into picking the right path for you with her talk, magic tiles, intentionality, and altruism.
Please, last but definitely not least, welcome to the stage, Ananya.
What movie does this picture remind you of? Oppenheimer, that's right. What about this one? Inception. And this one? That's right, Interstellar. When I first came across these films, I wasn't exactly sure about what were the common factors between them. But then I realized the answer was right in front of me all along. It's their director, Christopher Nolan. Well, duh, you'd say. I mean, as the director, he obviously has creative control over the films, right? But have you ever stopped and thought about what actually made the films his? Turns out, it is those common factors that we thought about, such as the recurring genre of the movies, the consistent style, and even elements of the director's personal story in them. On doing some research, I found out that there's actually a term to define this called auteurism, or auteur theory, which the word is used mainly in context of film directors who have a lot of control over the making of their films. So they can be considered the author of those films. But essentially, auteurs are people who have a signature style of creating. Their creations and their process is so unique and so personal to them that you can instantly identify it as theirs, just like you all did with Nolan's films. You know, as an aspiring director myself, I am still trying to find my own style. And I know I'll get there, but I've only started this journey 2 years ago, when I first arrived in Thailand. The good old days. Back then, my parents and I were new to a lot of things, the most prominent one being the use of nicknames. And you know, everyone here has a nickname that people address them by, right? So when we were picking one out for me, my dad said, why don't you go with one? It fits perfectly with Ananya. Ananya, my name. It literally means unique, like no other. So that's how I got my nickname, but for someone named after the very word, I felt pretty basic my entire life. I confessed these feelings of being just average to a friend of mine, and I told her, I do so many things, but I'm not an expert at any one of them. You know, like a jack of all trades, master of none. She told me that she viewed it in a completely different light. She said, the fact that you do all these things, the fact that these things have happened in your life, aren't they what make you special? What make you Ananya? I go back to that conversation a lot, especially when I feel a little lost in a crowd where every single person has something to their name. And I'm sure you all can relate, because as young people on the cusp of adulthood, who are just venturing out into the world by ourselves for the first time, we are still discovering the kind of people we want to be. And I am still trying to find my own calling, my own style, and I'm guessing so are you. And I know that the burning questions about our future are at the forefront of our minds. Like, am I making the right choice for my college, for my career? Will my parents be happy if I choose this? Will I be successful in this field? When will I start making my own choices? When what we're truly asking is, will I be the author of my own life? Initially, it all seems huge, daunting even, this concept of being the author of your life, your destiny. But to make things simple, let's use the example of a magic tiles game. You have got to cross a floor of lava by jumping on the right tiles, your opportunities, to get to the treasure, your goal. Now, there are so many possibilities, pathways, and options. How do you know you're on the right track? And how do you navigate this paradox of choice? Well, first things first, we've got to ask ourselves, why are we doing this at all? I mean, if you don't have a goal, then we're not going to be intentional about what we choose to do, right? And at the cost of sounding cheesy, I'm still going to say this. When you do something that really calls to you, and there's that little voice inside you that awakens with excitement, saying, this is where you belong, that's where your goal lies. And everyone has one. And in my belief, that's the first step, or the first spark towards being an author. Once you've recognized this goal, the tiles light up themselves to you. Meaning, if you're clear with what the choices, if you're clear with what your goal is, the choices you have to make become obvious to you. To understand this, let's go back to the analogy of the tiles game. Say my goal is to be a super spy carrying out stealth missions, and I have 2 tiles in front of me. One which gives me the power of invisibility, and the other gives me super strength. But I can only choose one. I am obviously going to pick invisibility over super strength, right? because my mission is to be stealthy. So I'm only picking the one that is right for my goal. Now, what if I told you that all of these analogies and explanations are just a reminder, a reinforcement of what you already know and have in you? Take a look at your own life and think of all the choices that brought you here to this moment. You've been an otter all along. It's been there in every single opportunity you've taken. And if and when it gets overwhelming, know that you're not alone. There are others in this journey to guide you and support you. To take a personal example, when I was in the 9th grade, I had to take an extra subject for school. And I made the obvious assumption that I would be taking art. But imagine my surprise when my dad told me technical drawing, TD as we call it, would be a good option for you. Now, I freaked out a little bit because I was like, this looks like a whole lot of maths and geometry and engineering. I don't know, so I wasn't doing that. But guess what? I did. And for 2 whole years, I continued doing it and absolutely loved it. My point is, sometimes the choices that are made in your life, even if they're not made by you and shaped by influences like your family, are intentional and play a role in shaping the person you are today, possibly even shaping the person you may become in the future. What technical drawing gave me was the ability to look at the world a little closer, a skill that I'm now very thankful for as a student aspiring to be in the creative industry. And it's not just that, but all the theater shows that I've been a part of, the dance classes I took when I was 14, the debates my teachers encouraged me to take up, the music classes I refused to take, intentional choices, some made by me, some made by those close to me, but all of them have guided me towards a particular creative path that I want to be on in life. I'm standing here in front of you at this very moment because of all of these choices that brought me here. And so are you. I've certainly not made these choices alone, and I don't think any of us have. So I'm grateful to all those in my life who have played a part in shaping it. Now I ask you, who are you grateful for? To all the people in our life who've helped us and positioned us to become the authors of our own stories, parents, teachers, mentors, friends, whoever they may be. You might actually want to go thank them after this talk. To sum it all up, acknowledge your journey so far, everything that brought you here, and embrace it. Revel in the person you've become. Cherish it, relish it, and be grateful for the opportunities you have ahead of you. May that little voice inside you tell you where you need to go and create the future that you want. As I speak about myself, know that I'm speaking about you all too. I'm Ananya, and you know what? So are you. So celebrate that unique you. So here's to stepping on the right tiles and claiming our treasures. I know that I am the author of my own life. How about you? Thank you.
What an incredible journey we have been on today. Each of our speakers have highlighted that character, strategy, and opportunity truly matters, and we have been deeply inspired by them. I'd like to take this moment to say thanks to our speakers for their thought-provoking topics, our musicians for their artistic performances, our teachers, mentors, coaches, and care supervisors who have supported us throughout the way, and most importantly, all of you for attentively listening. Our speakers today have highlighted that character isn't just about the grand gestures. It's about the small everyday choices we make, how we interact with others, and the integrity we uphold. And when opportunities do arise, it is our character that determines how we seize them and the impact we create. As we wrap up, I'd like to leave you all with a thought. The smallest acts of kindness, the most genuine moments of integrity, and the conscious choices we make every day are truly what defines our character. And remember, in the wise words of Maya Angelou, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you. Before we end, I would like to invite Dr. Thirakiat Chalerm Sethasin, our school's headmaster, onto the stage to share a few words.
ความจริงต้องถือว่า TED Talk จบแล้วนะครับเพราะว่าเวลาเขาไปตัดต่อเนี่ยผมไม่อยู่ในนี้นะครับและก็ตั้งใจพูดเป็นภาษาไทยเพราะว่าคือตอนพ่อแม่ที่นั่งอยู่ที่นี่รวมทั้งผมด้วยรวมทั้งครูด้วยเนี่ยตอนเราอายุเท่านี้เราไม่ได้แบบนี้นะเราก็นึกว่าเป็นเพราะว่าเวลามันผ่านไปประเทศเราเปลี่ยนไปผมก็มองดูเด็กไทยในโรงเรียนอื่นๆทั้งโรงเรียนไทยและอินเตอร์ก็ไม่ได้แบบนี้นะคำถามคือมันเกิดอะไรขึ้นใน 2-3 ปีที่นี่นะครับซึ่งผมคิดว่าถ้าเราดูเราก็ภูมิใจไม่ใช่เฉพาะลูกเราที่เรามาดูผมว่าเราภูมิใจกับเยาวชนของเราที่ได้รับการศึกษาที่นี่อนาคตของประเทศนะครับที่เรานั่งอยู่นี่เราเห็นเราก็ต่อไปเราจะมีหมอที่ดีๆไม่รู้กี่คนส่วนใหญ่ประมาณ 70-80% ของนักเรียนที่มาที่นี่วันนี้เนี่ยอยากเข้าหมอนะครับมีนักเรียนสายธุรกิจมีนักเรียนสายศิลปะเราก็รู้ว่าคนเหล่านี้เนี่ยเห็นชัดว่าเป็นผู้นำเมื่อกี้ผมบอก School Directors ว่าผมจะเปลี่ยนเอาเด็ก10 ขวบมาเป็น School Director นะเราเห็นเด็ก10 ขวบแสดงออกได้แบบนั้นนะครับแล้วไม่ได้ถูกเรียกว่าถูกปั้นไม่เรียกว่าถูกให้ออกมาแสดงอ่ะก่อนผมขึ้นมาเนี่ยผมจะเล่าแล้วจะจบให้ฟังว่าผมก็ถามผู้ใหญ่ในโรงเรียนของเราว่ารู้ไหม TED Talk มีไว้ทำไมเขาก็ตอบผมว่ามีไว้เพื่อทำพอร์ตและเพื่อโชว์จริงๆแล้วเนี่ยเมื่อกี้มีคนพูดถึงอริสโตเติลนะจริงๆนี่คือทั้งการแสดงละครและ TED Talk ทั้งหลายใน Newton Talk มันคือสิ่งที่จำเป็นที่สุดในนิวตันไม่ใช่วิชาการด้วยซ้ำไปไม่มีอันนี้ต้องถือว่าไม่มีนิวตันโรงเรียนไหนอยากจะเรียนแบบต้องเรียนแบบพวกนี้เพราะว่านี่คือกิจกรรมที่ทำให้คนคนหนึ่งเป็นมนุษย์นะครับเมื่อกี้น้องก็พูดถึงอริสโตเติลเนี่ยอริสโตเติลบอกว่าความเป็นมนุษย์เนี่ยแสดงออก3อย่างใหญ่ๆหนึ่งคนนี้เวลาคิดเนี่ยชั่งน้ำหนักไม่ระหว่างออปชันต่างๆภาษาอังกฤษเรียกว่า deliberate 2ดูภาษาที่คนนี้ใช้ speech ที่คนนี้ใช้ผู้ดีเนี่ยเขาดูที่เวลาเขาพูดจาพูดคิดไหมใช้คำอย่างไรตรงไหมคำนั้นมีเพื่อไว้ทำอะไรนะและสุดท้ายอยู่ในธีมตลอดเลยนะครับก็คือสิ่งที่เขาเลือกจะทำและเลือกที่จะไม่ทำนะครับเราจะเห็นสิ่งเหล่านี้เกิดขึ้นโดยเบื้องหลังนะครับผมทราบดีว่าซ้อมกันเมื่อเช้าไบรอันก็มาตั้งแต่6 โมงนะครับซ้อมกันถึงดึกดื่นนะครับเบื้องหลังเนี่ยมันเป็นการฝึกไม่ต่างจากละครว่าทำให้เราเป็นมนุษย์ที่สมบูรณ์รู้จักทำงานร่วมกันเป็นทีมรู้จักเสียสละนั่งดูเนี่ยพิมพ์อยู่ไหนพิมพ์ผมดูทุกคนเนี่ยนอกจากซ้อมหนักแล้วนะเราจะเห็นการทำงานที่เสียสละ ทุกคนที่พูดเนี่ยจะเห็นว่ามีคนหนึ่งนั่งอยู่ตรงนี้เนี่ยเขียนคิวตลอดว่าซึ่งทำงานทีมร่วมกับทุกคนนะพูด10 คนก็นั่งอยู่ตรงนี้ตลอดนะแล้วนอกจากเขียนเนี่ยเวลาน้องเขาพูดหันไปมองเนี่ยผมเห็นเขาลบนะเขาใช้มือลบนะลบไม่ทันนี่ต้องรีบเอามือสกปรกก็ไม่เป็นไรแล้วเขาก็ชื่นชมเพื่อนๆเขาพี่ๆเขาน้องๆเขาที่ขึ้นมาพูดนะแล้วก็คือเขาทำด้วยความสุขเสียสละทำด้วยกันไม่เอาเครดิตนะครับนี่คือสิ่งที่เกิดขึ้นที่นี่นะครับก็อยากจะฝากไว้นะครับว่านี่มันไม่ใช่เป็นเหตุการณ์ที่จัดให้นักเรียนมาแสดงเอาพอร์ตแน่นอนพอร์ตก็ได้แน่นอนอยู่แล้วใช่ไหมเพราะTED Talk TEDเนี่ยแต่ว่าเป็นหัวใจของที่นี่เลยนะครับก็อยากจะฝากไว้นะครับแล้วก็ขอบคุณทุกท่านที่มาร่วมงานนะครับขอบคุณทุกคนที่อยู่เบื้องหลังครูผมรู้ว่าทำงานหนักฝ่ายเสียงฝ่ายทุกคนนะครับที่อยู่เบื้องหลังความสำเร็จของงานนี้นะครับของน้องทุกคนแล้วมันเขาไม่เอาเครดิตทำใส่เขาก็ไปเลยนะก็นี่แหละคือการฝึกคาแรคเตอร์ที่สำคัญขอบคุณทุกคนนะครับและเดี๋ยวเรากลับมาสำหรับผู้ปกครองที่จะกลับมาแสดงความยินดีกับน้องๆที่ประสบความสำเร็จอย่างมหัศจรรย์ในปีนี้นะครับก็ขอบคุณทุกท่านนะครับสวัสดีครับ
Before we end, we would like to invite our speakers, MCs, and the executive team up for a group photo.
2 ทุ่มครับใช่ครับ2 ทุ่มเลยครับทุกท่าน
We would now like to invite the organizers, teachers, coaches up on stage for another photo.
ขอบคุณครับ